na ang programang tatalakay ng mga usaping pangnegosyo, medikal, legal at iba't ibang bagay na kinahihiligan ng mga Pilipino. Konek, Tambalang Magkukuyang. Bibigyang pansin ng ating mga kuyang mula sa Scwc ang inyong mga katanungan na gustong maliwanagan. Konek, Tambalang Magkukuyang. At ngayon, narito na sila upang ating makakwentuhan ang ating mga kuyang mula sa Scwc at ang programang Konek, Tambalang Magkukuyang.
Hello Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Good evening. Ako po si Attorney Aaron Ho, ang inyong kakasama ngayong Lunes ng gabi, 6:33 p.m. Welcome po sa DWIZ 882 AM, Balitang Sigurado, tapat na serbisyo sa komentaryo numero 1. At of course, itong programa natin ng SCWC, Tambalang Magkukuyang. No, today, ang aming pangalawang episode. No? Last week, nakasama natin ang aming most worshipful Grandmaster at of course, ang mga kuyang sa iba't ibang radyo, sa iba't ibang araw. Ngayon naman, third Monday of the month, ang ating pag-uusapan, mga topic na legal. At of course, kung meron po kayong mga katanungang legal, pwede po kayong tumawag sa aming istasyon sa DWIZ hotline 8470-1750-254. Pwede rin po kayong mag-text sa aming text line na 0918-350-2378. Ngayon, ang 37 days na lang, no, before Christmas. Ang bilis ng panahon, no? Ngayong gabi, mga kasama natin, meron tayong panauhin from the American Alliance Card Incorporated, no? Si Mr. Steven Cross, our chairman. Good evening. At ang Vice President for Business Development of the Southeast Asia, si Ms. Sheila Mamaril.
Hello, good evening everyone.
No, good evening po. Thank you for spending time and joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you as well for inviting us.
Now, Mr. Cross, let's start first siguro. What is American Alliance Card Incorporated?
It's a corporation that has commodities, the primary commodity being silica, that we deal as a core industry, but we deal with pretty much everything from rocks all the way down to oil and over to manufactured commodities.
Yeah, so this company is actually, what, is it a foreign company or a Philippine-based company?
American Alliance Card is a Canadian company.
Okay.
We have a transnational company in Canada. We also have a Dubai company, a Hong Kong company, and a Philippine company.
Oh, and how long has this been operating in the Philippines?
I don't know, since 2004. We've rebranded the company in 2013 and changed the name.
Oh, okay, so previously it was...
It was previously Oceanic Crystal and Silica Company, OCS.
Okay.
It's still OCS now, but it's Oceanic Crystal Silica.
Okay, actually I'm not familiar with silica rocks. No, I think for those not in the industry like me, this is something that I've heard about this, and I think it's a raw component in a lot of things. But aside from knowing that it's a raw component in a lot of commodities, I don't have an idea what silica rocks are. So can you please give us for our listeners, can you please give us a brief intro or background?
Yeah, I'll give you the 1,000-foot view.
Okay.
It's easier to say what silica is not in, but I can give you a brief overrun. Anything that is not made by God, is man-made, has silica in it. When you take iron ore and you want to turn it into steel, you add silica. Any composite, any pharmaceutical, anytime you take two carbon fibers and want to stick them together, doesn't matter what it's for, even surgical procedures. You want to make high-strength concrete, high-speed concrete, so it can flex and not break and shatter, it has silica in it. Glass is the one, everyone knows that. Electronics, the things we're dealing with here, even this Formica, the clear coating on it. Adhesives, lubricants.
Wow, so everything. It's pretty much in everything, literally.
Yes, the second largest used commodity, second to air.
Wow.
Second to area.
And how long has American Alliance been here in the Philippines?
American Alliance also had been rebranded. I have a parent company, American Alliance Financial Funding Group, that is a parent company. It's a holding company. That's been around since 2004 in the Philippines. So is Shintak Group Investments out of Hong Kong. When we formed OCS, the first group was 2009, and then we rebranded it 2013. So we've been OCS pretty strong since 2013. And we just kind of changed it around a little bit because we had a huge company structure change, and we wanted to change the naming of the company. We separated the civilian industry from the government industry, so we have two companies now.
Oh, okay. So this one is the civilian one.
Yes.
Oh.
Make it organized.
Okay. So, Mr. Gross, are you here also based in the Philippines, or are you just visiting the Philippines?
No, we have establishment here. We have establishment in Dubai, Hong Kong, U.S. and Canada.
Can you please, the mic.
Maybe it's starting.
Oh, okay. So, where in the Philippines is your office located?
We just reopened. We were in Alabang. We're actually moving into Makati. We're currently looking for the new offices. We were sharing offices with an organization that we're dealing with, Philippine National Police, because we did protective body armor and some surveillance equipment for them. We are just now getting our reestablishment for our new office that was in Alabang. We're moving to Makati.
So basically, you're moving to a more traffic area.
Yes.
And also in BGC.
Yeah, and BGC.
And
but,
BGC.
We're actually dealing with, in civilian side, we do development as well. We're one of the vendors for a lot of the build programs, and in Cagayan, Sasa.
Wow. So this is a 100% foreign-owned company?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
American Alliance Card is. That's the Philippine company. The Philippine company, we actually have Philippine partners. So we're establishing, we have multiple projects that we're doing here, and each project is project-based, entity-based. So when we deal with, say, the Coast Guard or Customs, we have a specific entity that deals with that. On our developments, we have our own development company here that is majority owned by Philippines, and we even source material from the Philippines for export to other nations for them.
Okay, so aside from silica, there are lots of products, right?
Oh, yeah, our primary commodity is silica, but we're involved in iron ore, copper, zinc, magnesium, pretty much anything.
And most of these are sourced here in the Philippines?
No. Majority is actually sourced outside, but what we're using is, if you've got a smaller mine, we have a bigger source of material, so you can join that platform in Dubai and source material worldwide.
It's a global.
Wow.
So a small guy can now join with other bigger groups and send out. What we've been deemed in UAE, Emirates, Dubai, is the OPEC of silica, of commodities.
Wow. Okay. So, going back to your Philippine transactions, how have you, you've been here since 2014?
2004.
2004. So, how has been dealing with the Philippine companies been for American Alliance?
For us personally, I've actually really enjoyed it. You know, you have your ups and downs. Any country does.
Yeah.
We have just as many in the U.S. But overall, majority of it was really good here.
Okay, so in terms of government supply, you've been engaged in government bidding, right?
Yeah. What we do is we have agency groups here that do the bidding. We do the material science and the management for them. And whether it's with Customs or Philippine National Police or NBI or Coast Guard, we've had it pretty much on every avenue. Now we're in the business side for build.
Oh yeah, build. So, let's talk about you, Mr. Gross. You've been, how many years have you been here in the Philippines? You've been in and out since 2004.
Yeah, individually I was the main person on the
you now
ground.
know how to speak Tagalog?
Slightly. My problem is I've been through 16 countries since 2004 constantly. So I usually have advisors that are with me that can help speak everything, because I deal with 5 different dialects in China. Plus we deal with Cantonese and out in the Islanders. I deal with Indonesia. I deal with India. I deal with Russia. I deal with Germany. You got how many dialects
Literally
just in
global,
Luzon?
yeah. Wow.
So it's really difficult for someone in my position to landlock anyone.
Focus.
Yeah, I focus more on the business side, and I have many groups that walk with us and handle things for the negotiations. And I can write just about any language, speaking it not.
You can write in about any language. Wow.
I can type a contract up in any language, but speaking is where I'm not a linguist. I'm better with numbers.
Okay, so how many people do you employ in total?
Contractors or direct employees?
Direct employees.
We probably have 250 worldwide, but the offices that we deal with all have their own employees. That they would be considered contractors, where we're more of a oversight committee for them. And then I worked as the master consultant for the company, and I flow in and out of each entity that we help build. If we help company get here, if we do business with a Philippine company here, we want that business to build. We act as consultants and advisors and vendors to them. So they build, we don't make. We make our money from our material as a vendor. We even help support them financially to get them off the ground.
Oh. What's your latest project that would probably be, if you can talk about it?
Well, I can. It's with DOE.
Oh, okay.
We're dealing something with Scwc. We're bringing a U.S. manufacturer into Cagayan, Scwc. But we're the advisors to that company. We're also the vendor. At the same time, we are getting involved in the energy side for Department of Energy in Cagayan Valley. Because my whole background started in energy and oil. But that's how I got into other commodities. They can't deliver or process that oil. They can't search for the oil without the sand. They got to have the frac sand. They got to have the concrete. They got to have the steel. So
we're talking about traditional energy, not the renewable energy projects.
This is where it'll get you.
Okay.
I started the energy cycle. I got into silica because I wanted to make a difference. So I went back and tied to my partners all in the Middle East to help them come from crude oil to alternative energy. And we think within about 20 years we can actually have a lot of them change. We're even working to negotiate with Saudi itself on they're putting up the biggest solar plant in the world, and we're going to be the material supplier. And we're going to help them take their oil and switch. You can't just turn the valve off. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We got to drive. We've got to have energy. Teaching them how to use that to convert is the difference. And so even in the Cagayan area, we're actually one of the alternative energy groups that are up there. That's another division of our company. We do advisory, but we also do the alternative energy ourselves as well.
And how has alternative energy been, received here in the Philippines?
Actually, really well, because it's easier to establish smaller substationed power plants or renewable energies than there is putting one big power plant in and putting it into a grid that's not developed. Because you can't pump. I could put 50 power plants up, but if the system's not designed to take that much energy, you can't put it through, so you're wasting the energy. What we've done is we've done a lot of studies. Bataan, one of them, Batangas. Feasibility studies. I've been up in even Taguigaro.
Well, you've been everywhere.
Oh yeah, I've been.
Nationwide.
We're down in Cebu right now. We're getting ready to go to Mindanao on advisories, and I'm the master consultant on most of it. I've actually been part of 4 power plants that have been built worldwide, cogen power plants. So when you take and build one power plant, you actually create renewable energy from that power plant as opposed to just letting it go out. But we actually got into even making solar plants, wind generation. We're helping people change out of solar. Solar is a big one. The big one that I look at now is the renewable energies. The hardest thing about it is the sustaining the power. You go with solar. Solar can now beat, during the sunlight, daytime, it'll beat any coal-fired or gas-fired power plant at cost. What does it do at night?
Yeah, that's a problem.
System.
That's actually my question also.
What we did is, there have been 3 big phase changes in batteries over the last 5 years. The biggest one was lithium-ion. That's okay, but it's toxic. So I automatically have a kind of a, you got to build them, you got to use them, but I want to find a way to run it. Silica lithium batteries are the new ones, and they'll outperform lithium-ion. And those batteries, if they break, it could be in the groundwater, it could be on your hand. There's no acid, there's no repercussion. Lithium's as natural as anything else, and silica is the abstract that actually makes it work. It's a little bit more difficult than that, but you don't need acid.
Yeah.
And when the battery runs its life, you just swim to the poles and it goes back the other way.
It's
I don't know
not-
if you know how batteries, why they wear out. You're going too long one way, all the electrons go one way and it stops working. If you can turn them back the other way, you got a whole life battery. Silica lithium is the only battery can do that.
Silica lithium.
Silicon.
Yeah, and that's one of the products that you.
We're one of the groups that are working with them, again, because we're the vendor.
Yes.
We own lithium, we own
Yeah,
silica. So
material.
we're in the middle of those developments, but last year was the first real study, and it was acknowledged and launched this year in February 2019. So it's the new battery on the market, and it outperforms every other battery, other than a supercell, but supercells are toxic, and they don't hold charge long. They can take charge quick and discharge, but they don't hold.
Yes. So, actually, I'm interested in renewable energy because it's.
That's my big one.
Yeah, that's one of the
The
fields of law that I am actually interested in practicing. So that's my. But aside from like the solar farms that you're trying to build, what do you have what is the biggest solar farm that you've worked on?
The one that we're helping right now, I just left the Dubai Glass Expo a month ago,
Yeah.
and met with the groups that are putting together the big power plant. It's a $1.8 billion, 500 megawatt plant that they're trying to put together in Saudi right now. Saudi wants to be the biggest one in the market to say, hey, we export oil, we work on oil, but we're going to be the first one to go out there and prove that we can build a plant like this. They'll be self-sustaining without their own oil from those power plants, as long as they get the battery side taken care of.
Really,
now they
without oil? Huh?
Oh yeah, and one of the new ones, won't hear much about it, but you have a solar cell that works. There's two ways solar cells work: either from thermodynamicity, where like something heats up and causes electrons to move, or direct sunlight. There's also a anti-solar. Doesn't create as much energy, but at night it'll still create energy because as the protons are leaving the solar cell that have been captured, it creates more energy.
It's like the opposite of that.
So you got your battery in that. That's the part that's going to be going into Saudi. They're spending a lot of money on it.
Oh, we're here now joined by Kuyang Ed Abalos.
Is there already?
He's there already, but he will join us in a bit. Traffic's really bad, so
In Manila?
yeah.
Really? In Philippines? No.
Really?
The only place I've ever seen tougher, which is one of the things we're also helping work on, by the way, is Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is the traffic is more.
Yeah, there's times when Hong Kong, yeah. That's the only time I've seen it worse. And there are times that Hong Kong can go very fast. Manila doesn't sleep. Hong Kong at least sleeps. At night it slows down,
Wow.
but during the day,
Amazing.
Hong Kong.
You're the
Hong
first
Kong's
one
worse.
who I actually heard that said, Hong Kong sleeps because
Yeah.
I thought it doesn't.
They're roads. So if you look at the roads, even by 10 o'clock at night, it's jam packed.
How
By
long
2
you
in the
been there?
morning, you can get
How long
anywhere.
you been there in Hong Kong?
Since 2003.
Just like is it going back and forth here.
Okay, but
Before
you-
it happened there in Hong Kong right now.
Oh yeah, it's happening in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, even we're moving our office from Hong Kong back here. It's coming down here to Cagayan.
In Cagayan. Why Cagayan? Because it's the place where most of your projects are.
Well, CESA is the main reason. It's going to be the digital. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, Kuya Ed.
Good evening mga kakonek. Pasensya na po at na-traffic po ako ng sobra-sobra sa EDSA. Alam mo, grabe talaga ang traffic na ngayon. You cannot be on time as much as possible. I've been sitting in my car for almost 40 minutes just to get here.
Yes.
But so far so good. I don't wanna be late again. But however, sir, thank you for being with us. But I've heard that you were talking about your company, the OCS, right?
Yes.
And mostly your product is more on the plastic.
No.
I'm sorry, silica. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Silica. Silica, like Attorney Aaron, when he asked you about the silica, it's almost everything on raw materials, construction, anything that you see, even the microphone, even the wires,
Cell phones.
it's all silica.
Yeah.
Sir, if you don't mind asking, because silica, well, it's like what you said, it's the second largest, being used. I mean, raw material being used in the whole world, right?
Right.
So when you bring in the silica, so mostly is it manufactured in here in the Philippines or I mean in the abroad, right? In Dubai.
We have both. We have Dubai actually has very little silica, even though it's sand. It's not. There's a lot of different types of material. The biggest thing people mistake about silica is it's the impurities that matter,
Oh,
not the
okay.
purity.
Okay.
If you could have something that's 60% pure that's better than someone that's got an 80% pure. It's the
Oh.
impurities break it. When you deal with silica, you come down to what's called a microlattice structure. Looks like a little fence. And when you look at those tubulars, if those are weak in the points where they cross over, it breaks. So that's the point that's the most important. So you get silica that's in Saudi and Dubai, and they can't be used.
But mostly the silica that you have, that you supply here in the Philippines, does it come, most parts of it, does it come from abroad, right?
Most of it, yes, but we have a lot of partners here too.
Okay.
So we mix them together.
So you always import the silica, the raw material, right?
Yeah, we'll be importing the majority of it, and a minority of it will be actually sourced here, so it'll be mixed with
It's
ours,
global.
with our partners.
But so far, sir, since you've been doing business here in the Philippines, how is your experience dealing with the government? But of course, you know, a lot of people, especially foreign entities, I know someone, no, he's a foreigner, he wants to bring in some of his products, but sometimes, you know, there is always red tape on the agency.
That's a good question.
You know, I don't wanna elaborate it, but you know, there is always red tape. But in our case, like attorney, in some situation, let's say Mr. Cross here, he wanted to bring in his raw material silica, but you know, a certain government of agency like Bureau of Customs, they're trying to harass Mr. Cross here. Let's say they don't want to follow the value, the blue book value for a certain material.
Yes.
Whenever you bring, there's a blue book value to it. Attorney, what can he do in legality so that he can fight for his legal rights as a foreign entity
Yes.
in the Philippines?
Well, actually, there are a lot. Depends on the grounds by which the shipment is being disallowed or the values are being contested. So there's always going to be protest systems. No, I'm sure Mr. Cross is very much aware of that.
How we found the secret we found, and
Yeah.
it was actually Customs that helped me, and guys that I have made associates with, both in Bureau of Customs, Immigration, NBI, and PNP from other work that I do for them, and that is when you have a SASA or a PESA, you
Yeah.
bring it in there. Manufacture for export.
That's easier way.
That way, our partners in the Philippines mix their materials with us. Whatever is made in that PESA is exported out. Whatever is not is sold in the Philippines. And that's how you get around it. That way, it's the Philippine worker that's making the taxability and the sale. And anything brought in from off-sea that's in a PESA goes back out. Philippine makes money. Anything that's in the Philippines stays out of the PESA, gets manufactured, sold back to the Philippines, and they're happy with that. That's what I found over the course since
Beneficial
2004.
for Philippines.
Oh, that's going to be beneficial for Mr. Cross, and you know, if
Everyone
but-
here.
and everyone, you know. But you know, sometimes there are, you know, sometimes in the government, in agency, I'm not saying all, pero you know, sometimes, they're they're like, oh, Mr. Cross, Mr. Cross, by the way, you're bringing like that, but problem is, you know, our chief is asking like this, like that. How can you deal with that kind of attitude, attorney? Can you make a formal complaint to that kind of person if someone is trying to, you know,
Is it SOP?
Yes, like that. How can a foreign entity deal with that? Like Mr. Cross Business, how can he deal with that?
Well, as you know, the current government is, the stance against corruption is very
Yes.
clear. No?
Yes.
So, aside from the hotlines that created by the Office of the President, we also have other government agencies which actually focus on reducing this red tape. No, like the Office of the Ombudsman or the, what do you call this? The anti-red tape.
After red tape, yes. I think that is headed by Mr. Grego Belhica, right?
Yes,
Yes. Yes, you can have their hotline. Actually, it's all in the internet. You can just type it on the Google. You know, anti-red tape in the Philippines. You can easily report that one because right now, we are very lucky that we have the new president, our President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, who always support the business people. You know, our president doesn't like corruption, doesn't like, you know, anything which is under the table. As a matter of fact, if you have transaction in the Philippines, it should be taken care of within 15 days, right?
Yes.
15 days, as long as the papers is complete.
Yes.
So that's why. What about you, Ma'am Sheila? Because I know you have some questions, legality, so that we can ask our lawyer. You know.
Mukha bang excited ako
Yes, you are
magsalita?
excited. I can see from your...
Ano ba? Wala
Yeah.
pa akong tulog niya.
Yes, opo. Sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am. Tanong po kayo.
Good evening, everyone here right now. So, regarding with that, together with our chairman and CEO,
Okay.
Stephen Cross, and by the way, he's the CEO for the Benzayed Natural Resources recently. So, he don't want to say it, pero ako na lang. So with
Okay.
that, recently they created a joint venture from American Alliance Transnational Corporation, and that is with their group, our group, including me, and also with the Dubai Royal Family. So it is like a combination
Wow.
of that. So the license for the MCC Dubai commodity has been released already. So they have an office in Dubai as well. So the good thing about that, he loves Philippines, going back and forth. So we created a project here for many reasons. Number one, he get back after the new administration.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes,
That's
it's
the
a very
number
good
one.
administration.
It has a big factor.
We supported him.
Yes, yes, yes.
So during the time that he's trying to help us, especially the police and the PNP and everything, it was like there's a low support. So now it's a big support for everyone. Like the ballistic vest for policemen, the raw materials coming from him.
Wow, ballistic vest, that is not a joke.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can make a ballistic vest.
Yes.
Because mostly the vest that we have here in the Philippines, we always import that one. And you know, the cost of the vest in ordering from other country, times 2, times 3, you know, the trader is the one making the money. And you know, if it's for the government, it should be regularized, right?
Yes.
I mean, the price should be regularized. And with the help of your company and Chairman Mr. Cross, you know, it's going to be very big help to the government of the Philippines, especially to the PNP, right?
Yes.
Because he's more concerned on protecting people than in machinery itself.
Of course,
Because
of
the
course.
raw material coming from him, so what they need to do is to just outsource or give it to the manufacturer of that. The raw materials is cheaper coming from him directly.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, so with that, also, aside from the PNP, we're also working with CESA. By the way, I'm going to be announcing, is it okay?
Yeah, sure,
Like,
sure. Go ahead.
our company right now, I'm doing the business development side. So mostly I'm working for the real estate side, hotel resorts. So we're developing here in CESA. We got like 10 hectares from the government there. So eventually it benefits our government in the Philippines as well. And aside from that, all the natural resources like mining here, like you have mentioned, not only silica, like gold, silver, iron, copper, lithium, and everything, kami yung nagko-connect sa mga mining owners. The best thing about that, we're putting that to the digitized platform level, global, na ginawa ng team nila. So, all our minerals gonna be marketing globally. So, we have client from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Germany. So, ang magbe-benefit nun, yung Philippines, and we're teaching them how to make proper rehabilitation of the natural resources. For example, you explore the mining already with a limit and proper permits. We're going to develop that in a PEZA, like BPO, industrial and commercial and everything. So with that, hindi mo lang siya in-explore yung minerals, you develop that for the benefits of the Philippines. Hindi mo siya iwanan, tenga lang. So that's why we're gonna be coordinating with General Grajeda with that. And for the DNR as well. So everything will benefit the Philippines at the same time.
You know, we're very, very lucky, no? At least now we know, no? Someone is a certain company which is as importer and a supplier for silica is supporting our needs and demands for the silica. And we would like to thank Mr. Cross and Ma'am Sheila, you know, because of you. Our PNP can purchase a vest which is cheaper of course the raw materials coming from your company.
Not just cheaper. We did a whole live fire demonstration.
Oh wow! The technology-wise,
Yeah.
you know, it's better and more capable of, you know.
Your Philippines police originally had some vests that even NBI wasn't happy with. When they did the live fire demonstration, 5-6 rounds they failed. We had 100 rounds and they didn't fail. They cost less.
Wow. That's a very good news. Oh, mga PNP, maghanda na kayo dahil parating na ang mga magagandang vest nyo. Hindi lang to basta-basta na vest na kinalakihan natin o yung mga ordinaryo. This has technology infused. And take note, this is very affordable na mabibili ng PNP. So meaning, mas marami pa kayong budget.
Yeah.
And thank you kay Mr. Cross. Thank you to your company, Mr. Cross.
I love
Yeah.
the Philippines.
Yeah, well, we love you also because you're helping Philippines, you know. And you know, actually, right now, because right now is the best time for a foreign entity or foreign investment to come into our country because you know.
I would have to say, over the course since 2004, you're definitely right. It definitely
Yes,
ramped
of
up.
course, yes.
15 years, yeah.
Yeah, 15 years. So it's been a long time, you know. It's been
You've seen the
evolution, improvement,
So
yes.
he can see different shit like, oh, wow, this is a big difference right now.
Yeah, but you always come back and forth to Manila, right?
Always.
You keep on coming back to Manila, huh?
Yeah.
Not just for business, but for leisure also, maybe.
Yeah, I have a lot of my personal time here. Even my children come here.
Oh,
over
wow.
here.
But you've been to the places, I assume,
Cebu,
because,
Palawan.
you know, you've been dealing with CESA. I mean, dealing with CESA is not a joke.
Challenging. Speaking with that, I can share. Recently, there's a flood, right? So, with other people, it will think negatively, like, oh, we're not gonna invest there. But we're thinking in a positive level, like, why not create a reclamation there that cover up the area to avoid flooding? The right,
Which is a good idea.
Irrigation.
yeah, and irrigation.
Irrigation
They
flood
have
zones.
equipment coming from outside the country, and also a funding support from his partner. So definitely, it's a big support from outside. But we don't do politics here. We're more on doing helping the development of futures. Like he said, he wants to create legacy.
Well,
So-
that's the kind of person that we
Yeah.
want here in the Philippines. That's why, in behalf of the the Filipino people, we would like to thank you and we love you for doing that.
This is the first time, by the way, that he said it in public. Like he's working silently because he doesn't want it to publicize or politicize like what others. Oh, he's part of our side. No, no. Let's do it in a well-mannered way that Filipino people are gonna benefit. That not in a different level of group, something like
Yeah, I
that.
think the biggest position we had is every time we've had a change in offices, even mayors,
You're not
we stuck with the people.
recognized.
Well, you know,
They know that.
the thing is, Mr. Cross has the passion to help our country.
Yes.
And therefore, you know, it's very rare to find someone who helps our country with his whole heart, you know, supporting it, right? Because, you know, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to other countries and you tend to look for this kind of raw material, the silica, it's not a joke to bring in. It's not a joke. I mean, number one is you need someone who will bring it like Mr. Cross, right? And he has established himself to Dubai, to China, you know. Like what I've heard, there's just like 4 dialects in China. How would you speak with that? Here in the Philippines, it's only 2. It's either Hokkien or Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
Attorney. You're Chinese, I know, di ba?
Oh,
Is it?
You go into
There's
China,
four.
go to different areas,
Yeah.
and just in Hong Kong, you get different dialects.
Yes, of course. That's a different dialect. It's Cantonese in Hong Kong, right?
Go Cantonese in
Yeah.
Mandarin, they still speak Mandarin there too, but they have what's called the Islander Cantonese, which is a little bit different as well. So it's even theirs a bit different.
Oh.
So once you're there long enough, you're not in the tourist area. You learn all these different things, so you can't just go to this, have the same conversation with person to person. It gets difficult.
Well, you know, aside from, investing here in the Philippines and bringing this silica, did you ever had, like, before when you were starting, way back before 2004, was there any difficulty in your side of, transacting business with the government agencies that you used to have before?
Yeah, one of the problems we did the South Reclamation Project in 2005. That one went very, very smoothly. We dealt with Lands Bank and JATO to handle it. We went to Naga. That was when we ran into the first. There was a family that ran all the politics there, and because we were doing something in Cebu, we ran into that. That was the first time I ran into that problem. Then I came to Luzon, and this was maybe 2010, and found out it to be very prevalent in the separate areas up here. But as soon as we got established with DNR
Of course, that's the primary, because, yes.
Yeah, once we had customs and we started dealing with PNP and NBI and Coast Guard, we had generals and admirals we'd call on to say, we're trying to do this, can you step in and be our adversary? And it made it much easier, because then even when we had an adversarial mayor, adversarial barren guy, when we stepped in there, like, okay, you're not here to do something wrong, you're here to help. Yeah. So we laid on the table to him. Once I think we established that and it got a little bit known, every time I go someplace, they've had a little bit of knowledge. PNP reaches everywhere. So is NBI. So if somebody calls, we were just up in the one we just came from.
There's a lot of places. Palawan,
no, up in Northern Luzon. Not Tigiro happened. Well, Tigiro was the same, but we have family up there. I have family that's here. So when we run into a problem, as long as there's somebody that knows somebody from PNP, they'd make a phone call and they're like, oh, okay, we know Stephen. We know Mr. Cross. Stephen Scwc, they call me.
Like due diligence check.
So when they do that, they're like, okay, this guy came in and didn't try and take any money. He was trying to offer the technology. He gives him a little bit more fair shake, because you can't blame just them either. Because there was a lot of guys through the 80s and 90s that would come in here and milk you guys. The foreigners weren't doing you any favors either. So that was a practice that they came. You're going to take from us, we're going to take from you. As soon as they see that you're going to sit on the table clear with them, most of them have been clear with me. Only 3 times since 2010, have I ran into a problem. And it's usually a businessman, not one of the government officials. Once you lay it down in front of the government official, they're fine. It's the individual businessman in between them, brokers we call them. And that happens in any country.
Of course.
Third world.
That's what you call middleman.
Oh, what will cost your problem on your boats and your vests, we're having multiple middlemen that were taking 10-15% by the time you guys got it.
What do you call that?
Prices were
SOP?
Broker chains.
Broker chain. Okay.
Yeah. So I get on the boots on the ground because I'm the majority owner of the company. I send my officers after I've made the pay of it. After I've come and established what I'm going to do with you, then I send my officers. That way they know what the terms are. And they have a person they can call if anything changes. They call me directly and I show up in person. That's probably the biggest thing they've had difference, because nobody ever sends the owner over, sits and does a negotiation, then has the vice presidents handle it. Usually vice presidents come, you get into a problem, then you got to get an owner over, and by then you got attorneys involved. I come here and lay it down, and if there's a question, they got me on a specific dial. And if they call me, they know they're going to get an answer.
Okay.
Can you share to them, excuse me, by the way, about the digital platform that you have?
Oh, yeah. We're interested with the digital theft. Can you...
It could help
Okay,
especially Philippines to remove a little bit of corruption.
Well,
yeah, of course. If you can share about it,
It will show up transparently all the transactions that you did between the time frame.
It's like a digital footprint of everything.
You cannot remove like 1 million or something. It will show up.
I just want to separate 2 things. Digital does not mean crypto.
Okay.
Even though we have a purchase utility token that tracks your money when it purchases something, it is not a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency is based on algorithms being settled and servers. Ours is, we have a silica coin that when you buy it, it's just through our blockchain. When you buy that, digital title is changed to you on the ground that material is traveling to you, and you take physical possession. So it's just a purchase utility. It is not a cryptocurrency. Why we do that is because if you order silica, you guys want to know where that material came from. You want to know if it stopped in another port. You want to know if the purity that you bought is the same material you bought. And when it comes in, SGS is good. They used to test it, check what the ship was filled with, and when it comes to your port, is it the same? Well, if there was arguments or disagreements, nobody knew where it changed from. Ours tracks that vessel from port of exit to your actual discharge. So not only does it do that, if any other, if it's delivering to 5 different locations, we'll know if anything else got added to that shipment or extracted from that shipment that wasn't supposed to be, so you don't have any loss in cost. We can track that in live time.
Wow.
And
shipping,
if you want to see that transaction, not to say a civilian, if you have a CFO that's got to see it, or if you get papers and you got to show the government what you ordered, you go into your system, pull up this digital transaction, and it'll give you every bit of location. The biggest problem we've been having since about 2005 worldwide in every country is, where'd you source your material? Did it come from an illegal sourced area? Did somebody go dredge somebody's beach
Yeah.
Did they go and excavate something illegally? That this material will have an ID wherever it goes, as long as it goes. If you buy it and you resell it, that digital ID will still follow it to somebody else.
Wow.
Not just for us, any partners we deal with, which is now multiple partners in the Philippines, in Dubai, in South America. We're getting Egypt involved. China's getting involved.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Anybody who does any of it, the first thing they've got to do is follow those rules, and it's basically it answers to ARTA for any nation, AMLA, and KYC, Know Your Client. All the anti-corruption and anti-money laundering, this is all answered for. So if any authority needs to see it, they can go in, give us a demand. As long as it's a legal demand, we print it out, or they can go in and log into the system and follow every bit key from that transaction.
So this is, yeah, this one is a very safe transaction.
Oh yes, and we have what's called a triple layer system. When you buy something through a bank, and banks are
This is different from crypto, right?
Oh yeah, this is digitized but not
Like
crypto.
token.
It's a purchase utility. If you go online and buy something online, you don't realize what you're buying it with a token. You buy it, that certificate's a digital certificate, gets delivered to you. Ours is our own blockchain that tracks it, and it's not just registered on our blockchain. 2 other blockchains and your banking system will have it. So it's you got.
So
4
it's a
layers.
similar crypto, similar as crypto, but it's your own.
Yeah, but it's, as opposed to being the big difference between crypto and ours, it's cryptography still, but it's not cryptocurrency. Even cryptocurrencies on a blockchain. Blockchains have lots and long.
Yeah, because I have
keys.
Bitcoin, you know.
Okay, so you understand when you buy that Bitcoin, you create a blockchain event. No matter what happens when you sell that, it can be sold to 20 different people. That little currency, that little tag will follow along the way and change certain cues along the way to say it's changed now, I've changed now, I've changed now. You can never delete that. It would be extremely difficult for someone to go in even 10 years from now and change a pattern of stuff that you've delivered. And that's something that all these AMLAs and that anti-money laundering, all the federal laws in every nation, even though they don't understand every bit, this is one thing they do understand. If they can see transparency, they like it.
But if they don't see any transparency, that's illegal.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what happened. First of all, I work with the 5 Pillars of Justice, the Knights of Justice. Here, I'm also an international director with them. They're all of your NBI, PNP, former judges that are trying to get rid of corruption. They work directly with Duterte's office. Even ARTA, I deal with ARTA. We're actually helping them build that same system inside the Philippines. So not just for our system. Once it's in the Philippines, the Philippines will adopt it for your government.
Wow.
Even, I'm talking about for criminality, for medical. If you go to a hospital from Mindanao to here, they don't know what you had been treated with. This will track you. But it'll also track if you've done something wrong. So unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But you want to know, did a guy shoot somebody in Tagigaro and then move to Cebu?
Side or protect.
That's something PNP is looking for. So we're working with them on that too. Not just for technology and business development, but for medical, for medicinal, for even traffic. This will help them across the board.
So what is this platform called?
Ours is called Silpac. Okay.
Silpac.
We have Silpac. Silka coin is the coin that we do our purchase utility through. But we have a copper coin. We have a silver coin. We have magnesium. Every commodity we deal with, we digitize so we can track that system.
Mr. Cross, you mentioned a while ago you have silver, you have Silpac, right?
Yes, Silpac is
Silpac. Yeah, all right.
Or Silex.
Is there any way, like an ordinary guy like me would like to invest or buy something like that?
When it's growing.
Yeah,
Well,
if it's growing.
How we say is it's not an investment area. If you want to buy a commodity, you can buy the commodity. Because if I got silk, you want to come to my mine and buy it, you can. This just makes it easier so you can sit at home and buy it. And you still will get your clarification. You'll have a digital title to what you buy. And you don't even have to take ownership of it. You can buy it and hold it and then claim it later. Or
It's more on the security.
Correct. That's what it's meant for.
It's not really like an investment type
Like,
that you
you
put
wanna
your
keep
money
it.
on it, then after 5 days it's gonna go up.
We're avoiding that because
Commodities can go up and down, but we don't base it on that. We base it on what's today that you buy it from, and with the expectation that you want that material. That's what we base it on. Because most of our people are B2B, business to business. very few people are going to come in and want to buy a bunch of commodities. They want to go and buy, if you want to buy gold, you go to a broker and buy gold that's processed. You don't buy ore.
Yes.
But if you're smart, in Germany's eyes, when I was in Dubai at the Glass Expo, I met with the German Prime Minister, and he said, commodities are king. They are. Even our currency is based on commodities.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Come to think of it, yeah.
Wow, we learn a lot from Mr. Cross.
Yeah, actually, the platform is a very good idea, especially when you talk about extending it to other fields, like medicine, justice, business transactions.
This is the page. Oh yeah, it come out.
Yeah, one thing that we did as well, because of the material that we're going to be dealing with, it's called ITAR. You have to have international trade. It's when you deal with anything above civilian level, you have an ITAR complaint. So we have another company that does that. This also tracks that for us.
Wow.
That's the original design for this, was that. But then we branched it out and said, hey, if we send a bottle of water, shouldn't the person have the same idea where this came from as they did the equipment that came to PNP? And it was nothing but a hex key that we added. So it was only over the last year and a half that we've added all these other platforms in. And every time we have a new transaction, and we figure we're going to do it more than once, we're going to add to the blockchain. Because then if somebody wants to know what happened with it, we can show them.
Wow, that's a revolutionary idea, in a sense.
And I hope we can adapt with that. It's a good idea for our government and for our system.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of governments are probably going to do a lot of the same things.
Yes, okay. And you know what? We'd love to hear more from you, sir, no? But it would be really, really great if, maybe you have advices to our foreign entities or, other companies who wanted to start business here in the Philippines. But, of course, at first it would be hard for them. Do you have any advices? Because what I can see from you, you are the best person to talk to.
Example.
Yeah, example. I mean, you are like our best example for everyone,
Actually, I've had a lot of foreign entities ask me about my experience here. If I was to give them the advice, two things I would tell them. One, study the person you're doing the business with. And if you have somebody ask you for the money before you're doing a transaction, you know you're already wrong. There's somebody that you can report it to, or you can walk away from the transaction. Nobody pays for something before it's done. It doesn't. The minute they're asking, I'm a consultant. You don't pay me till I succeed. Why? Because I believe in what I can do. The minute somebody's asking for money before they get started, that's a question mark right there. The second one is make sure that if you're going to come to somebody's country, you remember they're in their country. You adapt to their country. You don't adapt them to yourself. Which means if you come to the Philippines, you're going to do business in the Philippines. Remember the rules in the Philippines and make sure the Philippines benefit. You don't come here and take. If you don't put money back in the location you're making your money, you've already destroyed your company. I don't care what land you're in. It's going to be that way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Cross and Ms. Sheila Mamaril of American Lions Carding Corporation. We are very thankful that we have someone like you speaking in our program. It's a very rare opportunity for us, especially like Mr. Cross, I thought it was just silica, but we were talking about there's a more secure way of transaction. And with that, I guess, maybe in 5 years' time, if we can adopt it successfully, we can get rid of the red tape.
Exactly.
But they're looking for it, and they're very open to it. And I think you're going to find that Philippines is one of the more aggressive nations in the world adopting this. They're very open to it, and you can thank your president for that. He sees it.
Oh, of course, yeah. We're thanking our president, right now. We already thanked our president way back 2016 because, we've done a lot of things, But anyways, we will have our break. Break muna tayo, no?
Attorney, ano sa tingin mo? Muli nating balikan ang programang Konek, Tambalang Magkukuyang.
sa ating programa, CWC Tambalang Magkukuyang. Again, dito tayo sa aming bagong tahanan, DWIZ 882 AM. Kasama natin ulit si Kuyang Ed Abalos. At meron tayong bagong panauhin na ating ifo-phone patch.
Well, actually, phone patch natin yan kasi we still have Sir Stephen Cross and Ma'am Sheila Mamaril, no? Pagpahingayin muna natin sila. Kasi alam mo, actually, kasi sa totoo lang, ang dami ko natututunan. Medyo mamaya natin sila tatanungin ulit kasi exciting yung mga pinag-uusapan natin eh. Hindi lahat mapag-uusapan yung mga topic na katulad nito. Ito,
actually,
medyo breakthrough technology to. You don't get to hear this from any ordinary radio show, and we are very lucky enough, thankful, no? Thanks to Henrich Tanko, no? Ricky Tan, who's right now caught in the traffic. Also the same problem with me. Yes, Sir Ricky. Yeah, well, anyways, and by the way, no, makakasama po natin sa kabilang telepono po, no, ifo-phone patch po natin si Mr. Bernard Lacan ng Angono Rizal. Sir Bernard, good evening.
Yes, good evening po, mga kuyang.
Yes, good evening po, si Kuyang, sir. Yes, opo, sir. Sir, alam mo, tawag dito, meron yata kayong festivities dyan sa Rizal, no? Ano po ba yung festivities? Baka pwede natin maimbitahan ng ating mga kababayan, no?
Oo, no, mga kuyang. Actually, kahapon ay pinagdiwang dito sa Angono Rizal, itong kilalang art capital of the Philippines, and home of the Gigantes Festival. Itong ating taunang Gigantes Festival. So ito ay sineselebrate tuwing ikatlong linggo ng buwan ng Nobyembre. Ito ay tumapat kahapon. Kasunod dito yung pagdiriwang naman ng kapistahan ng aming patron na si San Clemente sa darating na Sabado, November 23.
Okay. Sir, pag sinabi mong Gigantes Gigantes, ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Ano bang meron dun sa festival na ganon?
Yes, kung familiar kayo, no? Ito yung mga 8 to 10 feet na made of paper mache. Traditionally, it is made of paper mache, din ang katawan. So, kung familiar kayo sa itsura ng mga higantes, sinasabi ito, nagsimula ito nung una, sabi nila, panahon ng mga Kastila bilang paghihiganti sa mga sindero. Pero later on, based on the recent study, is nag-appear lang daw ito after ng war. So this is mga 1940s, 1950s. Tapos, pero sa ngayon, sa inisyatibo ng ating lokal na pamahalaan, ang mga higantes ngayon, ito ay kumakatawan na sa mga bawat mamamayan ng Angono na sama-sama nagsasaya, sama-samang sabay ng pasasalamat sa lahat ng tagumpay at biyaya na natatamo ng ating bayan. So sa local government, tawag namin dito, Gigantes Festival of Good Governance.
Okay. Sir, ano bang mga dapat natin abangan pag kami pumunta sa Angono Rizal? Para at least mapuntahan naman natin yung ang pinagdidiwang natin bukod sa Gigantes. Ano po ba meron pa doon na makikita doon? Yung mga inaabang-abangan kasi syempre tulad niyan.
Yes.
Oo. Ngayon, nagpaplano na yung mga tagapakinig natin, tagapanood na pumunta ng Angono Rizal. Ano pa meron na pwede nilang abangan diyan?
Yes, since yung pinaka-Gigantes Festival Grand Parade ay naganap na kahapon, kung saan after nga noon, natuloy ng mga bands competition, narangyari ni drum and lyre, iba't ibang mga konsyerto, gabi-gabi. Pero although tapos na yung pinaka-Gigantes Grand Parade natin kahapon, meron pa rin tayong mga nakahanay na iba't ibang activity at ang susunod na highlight na nito ay yung ating namang pagdiriwang ng kapistahan ng ating patron na si San Clemente. So sa 22, ang parada po ng dito sa bayan ng Angono ay maghapon pa rin. Kung kahapon siguro more than almost 200 higantes yung pumarada, inaasahan natin sa 22 sa ating Bisperas Mayores ay paparada ang it's more than 100 higantes, makukulay na higantes sa yung iba't ibang karakter na talagang kinagigiliwan ng ating mga kababayan, ng mga turista. More than 100 higantes pa rin itong ating masasaksihan pagdating ng parada ng November 22 sa umaga. Kasama ito yung presenta ng mga barangay, kasama ng mga banda, ganyan. Tapos pagdating ng hapon, ang parada ng bayan kasama-sama na rito ang iba't ibang mga organisasyon, people's organization, iba't ibang mga paaralan, mga establishment. Ito naman yung ating Bisperas Mayores. At pagdating naman ng November 23, yung ating kapistahan mismo ng ating patron, ito yung ito na yung ating prosesyon ng pagoda. So from the simbahan, yung ikot ng buong kabayanan, so ito yung masaya, nagbabasaan. Tapos makikita natin dito, isa sa mga icon din ng ONO, yung tinatawag ng mga parehadora. Ito yung bawat barangay, may mga bata na nakabihis animoy mangingisda. Ngayon, iba't ibang mga festival costume na suot sila. Bawat yung 10 barangay natin, lahat may ganyan. Pagdating sa dagat, doon naman ay nakaabang ang bangka ng pagoda ng aming patron na si San Clemente. Ito'y babaybay sa tabing lawa ng Laguna de Bay dito sa Angono. Doon siguro mga 1 oras na prosesyon sa tabing lawa yan. So pag-ahon nito ay ito yung basaan, merrymaking.
So may basahan din pala.
Yes, basaan kasi ang aming patron nga, no? Ay sa aming patron ng mga mangingisda, patron ng mga minero. So, isa pa nga noong araw daw itong imahe na matandang poon namin at si San Clemente ay nakuha sa lawa din. At ang history din kasi ng buhay ni San Clemente na siya ang ikatlong Santo Papa ng Roma. Kung saan after niya, yung martyrdom niya, siya ay pinatapon sa dagat ng sa may Crimea na may angkla sa leeg. So, ito rin yung mga simbolismo, no? Kaya, saktong-sakto, ang bayan ng Angono ay bayan ng mga, noong araw, ang bayan ng Angono ay bayan ng mga mangisda, tayo na sa tabing lawa. So, it's one way of showing gratitude sa lahat ng blessings natin sa ating natatanggap na biyaya sa ating Panginoon through our patron saint. So, may basaan tayo rito.
Okay, sir. Sir, so ibig sabihin ngayon, merong concert mamaya, may pa-concert ang LGU ng Angono mamaya.
Ang mga konsyerto po ay naganap nitong nakaraang Biyernes, Sabado at Linggo. Ngayong araw dito sa may pagbubukas naman ng art fair dito sa bayan ng Angono.
Oo, kilala ka sa
alam niyo, ang bayan ng Angono, sabi nga, ang bayan ng Angono ay art capital of the Philippines, isang maliit na bayan. Pero tinatahanan ng 2 pambansang alagad ng sining, si Carlos Botong Francisco, aming po yung kababayan, at Maestro Lucio San Pedro para sa larangan naman ng musika. So maraming mga artists dito sa bayan ng Angono, hindi lamang sa pagpipinta, hindi lamang sa musika, nandiyan din ang siyempre mga alagad ng sining sa larangan ng pagsayaw, ng teatro, ng pagsulat. Ngayon yung iba't ibang organization na ito ay magbubukas na yung araw na ito ng art fair. Ang title nga, Tabi-Tabi po, or Tabi-Tabi po. Kung sabihin, lahat sila ngayon magsasama-sama. So ito'y magtatagal hanggang sa 21 bago yung kapistahan mismo. Ito'y matatagpuan dito sa tabi ng aming parokya.
Okay.
Ang sentro ng bayan ng Angono.
Okay, sir. Maraming salamat at binigyan nyo kami ng oras nyo para maanyayahan ng ating mga nakikinig at tagapanood ng ating programa dito sa Tambalang Magkukuyang. Maraming salamat
Very welcome po ating mga kababayan dito sa Angono.
Okay. Maraming salamat, sir. At ayun. Thank you, Sir Bernard. Si Sir Bernard Laca, no? Ng Angono Rizal, no? Ng LGU ng Angono Rizal. Maraming salamat po, no? Okay. Alam mo, attorney, ang daming festivities pala talaga ng Nobyembre, no? Pagtatapos na ng Nobyembre, no? Buti na lang nandito pa si Mr. Cross. Because actually I don't know, Mr. Cross, do you spend your Christmas here in the Philippines or you go back in Canada or US? A couple of times, yeah. How do you find our Christmas here compared to Canada or in US?
September, right?
Actually, I brought my kids here and they absolutely loved it.
Oh.
Aside from early.
Yeah, of course. But because the thing is, when you come here in the Philippines, actually, my stepfather is an American.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a white guy. He grew up in Texas. He lives in Texas, Most of his life is in Texas. When he got married to my mom, 15 years ago, when he went here, it's the first time that he visited here in the Philippines. He was fascinated because everywhere you go, there are Christmas lights, Christmas decorations, even in the mall. as early as November. Actually, there's a joke. If the September comes in, it's already Jose Marichan. You get to hear the Christmas songs already on the radio. And the thing is, it's like this. Whenever it's December, when you try to book in a restaurant or you try to book a caterer, it's only fully booked.
Always.
Because of all the parties, right?
Yeah.
So the best thing to do, if you're planning, if let's say you have a party on December, you might not want to spend on December. You might want to do it on November. Because the thing is, it's all fully booked. Filipinos love Christmas.
Yes.
And 100%, they really have this kind of culture of gift giving, culture of having the Santa Claus, thanks to the to the Western peoples. Yeah, because if we're not colonized by the Westerns, we're not gonna have this kind of mentality and this kind of culture. And we really love people who comes back and forth into our country, especially you, Mr. Cross.
I will tell you, most of my Western friends are amazed when they see the Christmas here.
Oh wow,
They really are.
Well, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be surprised if they love it here, But pala, Attorney, by the way, Mr. Cross, a while ago we were talking about the Christmas. There's one letter, actually. This is a letter for our lawyer. Because since our segment for tonight is Attorney, ano sa tingin mo?
May letters.
Yeah, there's a letter sender, actually. Okay, I'll just read it there. Actually, it's an email. Yeah, Dear Attorney, meron po akong isang anak. Ako po ay isang single parent. Hindi po kasal sa aking boyfriend, pero ngayon po hiwalay na po kami. Ngayon po, nagsisik po siya ng legal assistance po para daw makuha sa akin ang aking anak. Ano po ba ang dapat kong gawin? At ano po bang sanctions kapag hindi kami kasal at 5 years old pa lang yung bata? Gumagalang Josie. Attorney.
So hindi sila kasal, no? Ngayon bilang kung hindi kasal yan, Josie, under the law, you have the parental authority, sole parental authority over your child. So ikaw ang, ikaw ang nire-recognize na magulang nung bata, no? Ngayon yung, dahil hindi kayo kasal ng iyong boyfriend, wala siyang karapatang kunin sa iyo yung bata. Dahil unang-una, meron tayong tinatawag na tender years presumption. No?
Pero attorney, paano yan kung mas may pera yung tatay?
Well, actually, hindi kasi batayan yung pera eh. Ang default,
mas established, oh.
Yeah, the default is parental authority belongs to the mother. Dahil illegitimate yung child, hindi kasi sila kasal nung kanyang boyfriend. No? So, hindi batayan ng pera. Ang tinitignan ng batas is kung sakaling hindi ang tinatawag na unfit mother si Josie.
Paano mo masasabi, ma-justify na unfit ang isang mother?
Well, unfit ang isang mother kung wari hindi niya kayang patnubayan yung mga tungkulin ng bilang isang ina, alagaan, pakainin, paaralin, di ba? Yung mga basic needs of the child hindi niya kayang i-meet, then definitely pwedeng sabihin na unfit yung mother, no? Kagaya ng for example, ito uso sa, recently in the past few months, we have heard about child trafficking. No? Yung parents na they're trying to prostitute their children. Definitely, it is one of the badges of unfit mother. No? So, short of being an unfit mother, actually, the law sides with the woman. So, as long as the mother is the mother is presumed to be able to take care of her child, and lalo na if it's the child is less than 7 years old, custody talaga belongs to the mother. And even if more than 7 years old, no, as long as hindi kasal, sa nanay pa rin ang kustodiya. Ang nag-iiba lang dyan kapag kasal and then more than 7 years old na yung bata, pagbibigyan ngayon, the judge will ask the child what his preference is. So saka lang i-consider ng judge kung sa nanay o sa tatay. Dahil kasal. Pag hindi kasal, automatic sa nanay.
Okay. So ganun pala, no? Talagang medyo hindi ka basta-basta mo makukuha yung bata.
So ang karapatan na actually nung lalaki dito is to be able to visit the child. Visit, support the child.
Okay.
Recently meron akong kaso na ganyan, dahil walang magawa yung tatay, ang kinaso na lang namin is petition for visitation.
So pag sinabi mong petition for visitation, attorney, just to visit lang.
Just to visit, spend time with the child. Dahil syempre the child also is entitled to the care and nurture of the father. Diba? So
talagang obligado yung mother na bigyan ng oras yung tatay para makapag-spend sila. Tama?
Tama. Unless the father naman is a danger to the child, igagrant ng court yan, yung visitation.
Paano kung kunwari, let's say, kasi meron kasing kaso na yung tatay padala yung pera. Tapos yung nanay, ayaw pakita yung bata. Anong sanction na pwedeng ganun?
Doon na nga papasok yung petition for visitation. No? Ngayon yung court, i-compel naman yung nanay na mag-set ng schedule para magkita yung anak at yung tatay.
Okay, ayun. At least mga kakonek, no? Mga ating tagapakinig, kung sakasakali man na gano'n ang inyong sitwasyon at may kilala ka sitwasyon, ang talaga ang custody talaga nanay talagang pinapanigan ng ating batas, ano?
Tama.
Ayun, attorney. Thank you. At yun.
Thank you kay Joanne for the question.
Si Ma'am Josie. Yes, si Josie. Si Ma'am Josie na ating nakikinig. Sa ating mga nakikinig dyan, kung sakaling meron po kayong liham o meron kayong email na gustong itanong sa ating abogado, email nyo lang po sa dearattorney882@gmail.com.
Tama.
Ayan, para sa mga katanungan natin. And ito, gustong-gusto ko nang bumalik talaga. We wanted to go back to Mr. Cross because, we've been learning, Mr. Cross, we just take a break a while ago because we wanted you to, because a while ago we were talking, we didn't notice it was already, we started the program at 6:31, then we ended it like somewhere 7:20, 7:10. It was a long discussion, right? But I hope you are already all good right now. You were not tired talking to us,
No, I enjoy it.
Well, we enjoyed that. Actually, it's very honor for us to have you because, we're learning a lot of it, especially the technology. Right now, can you say that the Philippines has a chance to grow more because of our government and because of our policy and then because of our system?
Most definitely. You guys have opened up some doors that have made you competitive to any first world nation.
Okay. But, however, as our government tries hard to improve our system, like what you said a while ago, you have this kind of system that could work for our government, that could work for the police, for the medical, everything in a systematic way. Is it this expensive for us?
Actually, it's less expensive.
Can you explain, sir, why it's less expensive? Because right now, like a system, let's say there's a system for a certain company, they wanted to avail it. Sometimes they charge a lot for that. But with the help of Mr. Cross, with his company, maybe we can afford it in a much cheaper way.
Well, one of the ways it's going to be done is since we're doing the commodities there already, they're just going to be given access to it. And we're basically going to underwrite one of the programs because, to be honest, I can't get all into the details. The person that specifically asked us was from PNP. Since we're delivering to PNP, we're simply just going to add their program into the same system they get their material from. So the material, the platform is going to be there. Adding a layer in for them specifically to watch the details or add anything they want in is not as difficult as creating the actual program. Adding to it is not. The problem you get is, and it happens in the U.S., it happens in China, it happens in Germany. You go to ask somebody something specific, I'll tailor it for you, even though there's this exact duplicate right here. I'm going to create you a new one over here and charge you twice the amount. If somebody, I would rather look at you across the table and say, we created this for you, why don't we just add it to this same program so you don't have 12 different programs. You're watching it one program. It's backed up 4 different ways.
So you need to say we can incorporate this to our existing programs that we have in the government.
Yeah, that's what it's designed for. So it can
less
go
money, less expenditures for
And
this,
it's
right?
direct to him.
And it's direct to you.
Well, direct to
The
us
company.
platform, but your government operates their own detail. We don't. They own their own information. If they ask us to help get into the system and modify, that's one thing. But we only control what happens with our material. But once you have an access to it, if I created a Gmail for you and Gmail Suite, well, you control your email, not me.
That's
I create a
Yeah.
platform,
With
but your
privacy.
email's yours.
Yeah, the encryption
Same
is
thing.
with me.
Yes, same
The
thing. So-
security keys and with me.
Yes. So they would get in, they'd have this network that's already established. They could say, Stephen, this is what we want, or Mr. Cross, this is what we want. This is what we want it to do. They work with my team inputs it. We're not creating a new platform, we're just adding something to the platform. So they can stack
Attachments.
it. Yes.
Well, wow.
It's like digitizing every department.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes, because the problem here, sometimes, you know, let's be straightforward here. Sometimes, we have this kind of technology, like this, like that. But after the explanation, after the presentation, but the thing is, you have to get rid of the old system. And you have to spend like this, and like that, and like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes, how could we afford that? That's the problem.
This
But
is
with
where
you,
I came in. Yep.
but with you, because of Mr. Cross and his company, it's all possible. And it's more cheaper because of you.
Well, we teach you to use your program you have while we establish the new program, and you change your shoes. You don't jump out of one shoes and the other. You take your transition steps, so you're learning it. Because I can't give you a technology you don't understand. I got to teach you on it. So taking your old programs you've got and rolling it into the new one as you take
You have
old
to adopt the
information out.
technology.
Yeah, walk
Exactly.
you through.
And it takes a couple of years, but the cost is much cheaper. Let me tell you, a computer that holds all your data and you can have 5 people go track that data is much cheaper than having 300 people that go to check it manually. There's your cost. So your cost is cut almost immediately as you adopt the program. So you can take these resources of people and bring them to something else other than just data keeping. Data keeping is something you should be autonomic. I don't believe autonomic should replace people working. There are certain things people are better at than a machine is.
Of course.
But data analytics, the person should check the data analytics basis. But the data forming, let the computer do that. They're better than we are. We make mistakes when we're tired. The computer doesn't.
Yes, that makes sense.
And if it makes an error, it tells you it made an error and you can check it. And you
Yes.
go right to where it's at. If a human makes an error over 2 years, you have fun and go back. It's going to take 300 people to go back and check all those records.
And who are they? Like their boss.
Yeah, that's the question.
So
cannot
a
trace it
computer
anymore.
makes an error, it tells you it made an error and where it's at. You go right back and find it. So that's in those systems I believe they should, but the people should still have oversight over those systems and what we input and what we take out. That's where the people should be at. And hopefully you can do that. Your limiting cost, you can turn around and do a little bit more social economics, which is where we should spend most of our time. Education, and you know, one thing I love about the Philippines is you have a marvelous family orientation here. A lot
Of course,
a lot of
yes.
countries have lost that,
Yes.
and that's where they start having problems.
Yes.
You guys have a
the
wonderful
close
family.
ties with the family.
That's probably the biggest respect I have for this nation is the fact of its family ties. Because your family ties, your culture stays together, no matter what.
Yeah.
Go to some countries where their family ties are broken. Do you realize that 2 generations ago, the U.S. stopped having grandchildren watched by the parents? Or parents watched by their grandchildren. That's common here. There's a
Yes.
reason we're called grandparents.
Yeah.
We're better as grandparents than we were as parents, right? So that culture, when you lose a 3-generation connection, it doesn't take long to have things fall apart. And the biggest thing you guys have here is that. So anything we teach you, you have 3 generations learning at one time. You don't have an age gap. You don't have a generation gap. Any other country that doesn't do that, they have a generation gap by the time a grandparent and grandchild comes together. You guys don't have that. So you guys are way ahead of the race as far as that point. And I think that's a strength you should focus on.
Well, thank you for
Actually, some good insight. Huh?
yeah.
Can I share something about what your project is? Because you're not going to share it personally. So, aside from the business we're doing here right now, like the public and private projects here in the Philippines, from
Yes.
American
Oh, yeah. Of
Alliance
course, your
Group,
project. Yes.
we also have another place which is like social responsibility give back. So, for example, we're going to be creating children's wellness center, And for the elders, senior citizen house as well, where we can establish, like, we can support them using his foundation as well.
So Mr. Cross has a foundation here in the
He's going to
Philippines.
be creating.
Oh, he has. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like
That's a great news.
not only a business, but there's a social responsibility at the same time. So
He has the heart to serve the Filipinos.
not only like business, but
Yeah.
to help
I tend to take it another way. If I'm going to help somebody, I don't take a camera as I do it. So I
Yeah,
prefer
that's
to have the
why.
people in the community work with me and follow through. I don't need recognition for that. Everyone should do that.
Oh, wow.
That's why you didn't mention.
Yeah,
So
that's
I just wanna
admirable.
let them know as well.
Well, that's something that, you know.
One place to another. So one city at a time. That's our
Oh.
project.
Wow. So that's coming soon. Very soon.
Yeah. After the projects, it's gonna be unfolding after that.
They have to take. If you take financial resources from one location, you have to return
give
it
back
back.
in
If
every
you don't,
location.
you won't do business with my organization. I don't care what country I'm in.
And it's
That's-
recorded.
Yeah. And that's something that we should look forward into, especially business people, businessmen that, like, you know,
Yeah.
doing
Giving
give back something in the public, you know, for the least fortunate, right? And
To
you know,
balance as well.
yeah, to balance everything. You know, I couldn't imagine Mr. Cross, you know, has the brains, has the way of thinking, and has the heart for the people. It's something that we should be admired of, you know. And maybe in the future, we will have Mr. Cross more. Probably all of his projects, all of his ideas, and his technology. Actually, the technology, I'm really interested with the technology. That's something, wow.
I think you need to have a coffee, something like.
Yeah, probably have a sip of coffee with you, together with you, and together with your mom.
Working with him, it's like, oh my God, it's like I have a genius
I'll
besides
tell
me.
you
I'm
one of
learning a
my
lot.
things I like the best about the technology. Education comes out of it.
Wow.
We can educate 3 generations all at one time, which means you never lose. You know, how many times have we lost knowledge in generation gaps? You realize, I mean, this has nothing to do with this show, but the U.S. Navy is the most advanced Navy in the world. Why can't they do what they did in 1840? Why can't they grow vegetables on a wooden ship? That technology was lost because we didn't need it. What we're doing is we're taking technology, education. We want what our grandparents knew to our kids to know. We want to pass that information on. Libraries don't work like that. Blockchains do. So as we learn things, we can do that. So the other thing we do is even medical science. We're tied to companies that do platforms in education. We share technology in every nation that these guys are doing this work on pharmacies, nutraceuticals, biological, but then also the technical. So we understand all of it. Anybody can go in here and see this technology. Nobody's keeping this like it's mine. They join this program. They share in it, which means everybody shares in it. I believe socioeconomics, social responsibility is a key point. If you can't do that, you should not be in the race. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, you've heard it from the man of the hour for our show, from our show. Well, actually, I've learned a lot. You know, I think the 1.5 hour, it's not enough to have Mr. Cross here. Probably, yeah. If we're lucky enough to have him again as our guest. And, you know, it's so exciting to have that, you know, the crypto system.
And the projects.
And the
forward.
projects, and, you know, it's I think it's something we should look forward into. And attorney, alam mo, malapit nating programa, magpapaalam na rin tayo in a while.
Yeah,
No?
oo.
And bago natin gawin yan, no? Sir, you know, I'm just curious. You've stayed here since 2004. Haven't you met anybody that makes you interesting here in the Philippines?
Plenty.
Plenty, all right.
I've got adopted family.
Uh-huh.
I've got many godchildren.
Wow.
Even in China.
Wow.
In the U.S.
Uh-huh.
But yes. But that's for another radio show, bro.
Well, anyways.
We'll have a time where I come and we'll talk personally.
Yeah.
And I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, because I was just curious because he's a great guy, you know. Everyone loves him. Most probably, you know, people, especially here in the Philippines. Mr. Cross, we would like to thank you in behalf of our program. Yeah, attorney, would you like to... Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for being our first guest for Tambalang Magkukuyang, attorney sa tingin mo.
Yes.
It's actually our first guest.
Yeah, first guest
this
for
program.
So yeah. No, actually it's the
Congratulations.
first guest for the segment of attorney
Yeah,
sa tingin
for the
mo.
segment,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually this is his show. Yeah, I am just the
The more senior anchor.
No, not the senior anchor. I'm the extra anchor. Extra if they need, yeah. And I'm so lucky because you know why? We are given the opportunity to have Mr. Cross and Miss Sheila, and it's very rare. And probably, sir, if you have the time, we can have the cup of coffee. Off air.
You know what, Sir Ed? What he's saying is like someone like you training or mentoring another one is what he's saying. The same thing. You're not hoarding your wisdom and experiences, but you're sharing and training another one.
And I would love to do
More.
that, sir.
Yes.
I would love to do that off air and on air, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because me, my purpose is to share everyone. Our purpose of this program, our program is, its advocacy is to share information to people so that it can help their lives. Because not everyone, they talk real talk. They know they don't do real talk. Not like this. As much as possible, we wanted to do the real talk and share our experiences and information to people. And we'd like to thank Sir Mr. Cross. Thank you, sir. Miss Sheila, Miss Sheila Mamaril, for having you as our guest here in our program. And sa lahat ng ating nakikinig at nanonood ng ating programa dito sa DWIZ 882, sa Tambalang Magkukuyang, every Monday po 6:30 hanggang 8 o'clock PM po ang aming programa. Kung sakali po kayo ay nanonood sa aming Facebook page, type nyo lamang po ang DWIZ 882 AM, yes, apo. At kung sakali naman po wala po kayong Facebook at ayaw nyo mag-Facebook, you can always watch our program stream live on air. Pwede nyo pong, you can download an app. If you have a smartphone, just download Android, Sa Android po, type nyo lamang po DWIZ. Sa iOS, pag sinabi mo iOS, iPhone, Pwede nyo pong i-download yan. Kung ayaw nyo naman po i-download, log on po lamang po kayo sa DWIZ sa www.dwiz882am.com. At dyan po nagtatapos ang aming programa, attorney. At yes, attorney, baka may gusto kang sabihin sa ating mga nakikinig at nanonood ng ating programa.
Wala. Actually, mababati lang ako sa aking loya, Labong Lodge number 59 na nakikinig ngayon.
Yes, Miss Sheila, would you like to greet anybody?
Last greet.
From your friends, from your family?
Dami.
Yeah, because they're listening right now.
Sir, I'm so happy to be here, guys, and I'm so thankful for you and grateful. And with Mr. Cross, of course, my partner. So I think I have another invite.
Yeah, we would love to invite you.
I have a lot to share and
Yes.
to tell to everyone, but I give
We're
Mr.
running out of time.
Cross
Yes.
the chance to say everything, not everything.
No, you know what, Miss Sheila, it would be great idea
So
to
I'm
have
just
you
like
to our next
a
episode.
shadow here for now, because right now
No, you're not the shadow. Actually, ma'am,
I thought you were ba?
honest.
I'm just humble,
No, honestly, I'm interested on our topic, but can we have you on our next?
Agad.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
It's
sige.
not a joke. We can have you.
So,
yeah.
sure, definitely. I'm really into public servant
Yeah.
community as well, and when it comes to women and youth, I'm really involved with that since I was a kid and up to growing up. So I have a lot of things to share with everyone up to this point of my life. From not naman drugs, pero from you go from there.
Yes.
All the experiences I want to share to everyone.
Okay.
So, I think on the next time.
Yeah, Monday. Let's set it a date.
Monday, agad.
December 5.
Okay,
next Monday.
Before my birthday.
Yeah, before your birthday. Okay, we will have you as our
Wow,
guest.
advance happy birthday.
Okay, medyo mellow lang ako para okay.
Okay lang, because si Sir parang the way he talks, it's very American.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very American and it's
And he has a lot of things to share to everyone.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
mga groundbreaking, we will invite you guys. as
Oh,
well.
thank you, ma'am. I hope we can
you.
cover this event for you. Yes.
Yeah, and glory to God for everything, by the way.
All right.
Definitely going to follow it. You're going to be on next week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll update him. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
At,
Nico.
yes. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
It was a pleasure.
Guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Alright,
At
thank
dyan po
you.
nagtatapos ang ating programa sa gabing ito. Ako po si Kuyang Ed Abalos at kasama ko po ang ating attorney na si
Aaron Ho, Kuyang Aaron Ho.
para po sa SCWC Konek, Tambalang Magkukuyang.
Attorney sa tingin mo.
That's right. Isang simpleng bagay